in the NFL draft.
Hey, make us lunch. We're hungry.
Yo, everybody, how you doing? So, last year, the Eagles come out. They go 3-0 right off the bat. Right off the bat, they go 3-0. They beat Cleveland. Then they go Monday night and beat Chicago. Then they go and they beat Pittsburgh right before bye week. And they beat the crap out of Pittsburgh. They beat the crap out of them. It was great. And when a team goes 3-0, you're supposed to make the playoffs. The percentages are in your favor. I don't know what they are exactly, but I know they're in your favor. Now, the rest of the year, the Eagles went 4-9. 4-9, which is atrocious. And to be honest with you, I don't even count the last game against Dallas because they were sitting everybody. They weren't trying to win that game. They didn't even want to play that game. So I don't even really count that as a legitimate win. And yeah, they lost some games that they probably should have won. They should have beat Dallas in Dallas. They should have beat Detroit. Those things should happen. But I'm not one of those guys that say, well, we should have had this game and this, and if only this happened, we could be somewhere else. No, you will either win or you'll lose. You're a winner or you're a loser. That's how I look at it. The Eagles lost, so they were losers. That's just the way it is. Now, it's a funny thing that we talk about 3-0 last year and how you can't judge a whole season by the beginning of the season because usually the games in November, December mean a lot more. And they'll mean a lot more this year too. But when I look at this team and when I look at this schedule and when I look at the amount of new people that they have on this team and the amount of new guys that are going to have to learn to play together and gel, I think the first 4 to 6 games of this season are going to mean a whole lot for this team. A whole hell of a lot more than in normal years what a beginning of a schedule would mean. This team, by the first 4 games, could be totally 2 different places. Now you open up in Washington, okay, which is a place that we haven't won in a long time. In a long time. So that's a very real possibility that you could walk in there and lose because it's in your head. They're in your head. The Redskins are in their head. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's possible. Then you got to go to Kansas City, which to me is a really hard place to play no matter when. It's a hard place to play to go to Kansas City. Now, let's say they go 0-2, right? If they start 0-2, they got to come and have a home opener against the Giants. You don't think the Giants are going to be a little more pumped about getting the Eagles to 0-3? You think the Giants are going to smell a little blood in the water a little more? The Eagles are 0-2 because the Giants know an 0-3 start could really put them in a bad spot. So the first few games of this season to me is going to tell you where this team's going to go. Now I'm working on the schedule and I should have my pre-preseason schedule prediction out within the next few days. I'll release it, and then after I release it, we'll do a live stream where we can talk about it and you can tell me where you think I'm right or where you think I'm wrong, and we can debate it. Right now I've gone through the first 6 games of the season and I'm working on the other ones. I'm taking a look at the other teams specifically, and we're going to come up with a prediction show for the Eagles very soon. But I can tell you from what I've looked and what I've been researching so far, the Eagles need to at least split those first 2 games or they're in trouble. It's going to be trouble if they go 0-2. This team goes 0-2, it could be a disaster. If they can go and split, they got a shot to do something because I think, let's look at their first 4 games. Redskins, Chiefs, Giants, Chargers. The Chiefs and the Chargers are away. I think both of those games are hard games to win, okay? The Redskins are away, but they play in Washington all the time. They just got to get over beating Washington. So these first 4 games, especially the first 2, are going to be the determining factor, I believe, of where this team falls. And last year they started 3-0 and it didn't matter at all. So each year is its own new entity and anything can happen. And we'll see. I'll talk to you later. Take care and don't be a dingbat.